Hey, what's up, guys? Tony here, and I'm bringing you some more MLB 14 Road to the Show with Chester Adams. And I got promoted to AAA, and you can see right here on the player comparison screen where I stack up in the organization.
Chester Adams is in the glow, and it's an exciting day for him to be sure as he makes his AAA debut in this one.
Yeah, this should be a fun yet nerve-filled day for him. You know, he wasn't a top draft pick, so he really had to prove himself at the lower levels to earn this promotion, so he should be proud of himself. Obviously, though, he ultimately wants to make it to the major leagues, but for now, I'm sure he's excited to show what he can do against some stiffer AAA competition. Who knows, if he continues to impress, maybe he'll be playing in the show before too long.
Okay, we're looking forward to this one. Lineups and first pitch on the show coming up next.
Alright, so as they were mentioning in the pregame, I got called up to AAA. This is my first AAA start, and I kind of noticed some significant changes between AA and AAA, and I'll get into those in a minute. But what I want to talk about first is, just so you guys know, I don't know if you guys have played as pitchers or not, but I had 8 total games that I pitched at the AA level, and a 6-0 record. My ERA was a 1.82. I had 6 quality starts, 2 complete games, 2 shutouts. I pitched 54 in the third innings, and I had 38 hits, 11 earned runs, 2 home runs, 7 walks, 60 strikeouts. So my whip was .83, so that's pretty good. I mean, that's less than 1 hit per inning pitched. So I was doing really well at the AA level, and because I was doing so well, I didn't really feel it necessary to like put a bunch of videos out at the AA, like all 6 starts, because like 1 or 2 of them were really short starts. Obviously 2 were short. If I had 6 quality starts, those are all the ones that I had won. But it was nice because I mean I lucked out a couple of times where the offense stepped up and helped me out, even though I might not have been pitching as well as I wanted. But anyways, so now that I'm moved up, this is sort of like the I was looking at that pitch. I was like, that was a strike. Actually, this is the at bat. I was scratching my head. I was just like, huh. I was like, that's a strike too. But I can understand it being low, you know. Anyways, pitching in AA is usually always kind of fairly easy. Like, it could have its challenges, but for me, like throughout the amount of times that I've played the show, and as a pitcher, AAA usually is the level that just tears me a new one. And like I'd mentioned in the last couple of videos, there will always come a time where you do really well, and then there will also come times where you get your butt kicked. And that's just a part of baseball, and that's just a part of this game. And so I didn't really experience all that much adversity down at the AA level. Like I had, you know, a fairly easy time of it, which is, I'm not to brag, it's just that was the case. You know, I just happened to have 6 good starts and 8 total starts. And what I was gonna say before I sort of interrupted myself is that this was sort of fitting for me from a fielding standpoint. This was sort of going along the same vein as, like, you get into May or late May, early June, and you get called up because, like, my fielders that I've created, they've all pretty much, the average is getting called up like the 2nd or 3rd week of May. And depending on the organization and depending on the depth of the staff of the position players and everything, you would get called up by like July. And even a team like one of the players that I created that I said I want to play for the Padres, that player didn't actually get called up until roster expansions after the All-Star game. So even at that, in the first season of playing, so out of 2014, I was in the show by the end of the year. So right now I'm sitting in a position where here it is, May and late May, and I'm like, okay, I should be getting called up to the bigs. Like, you know, I did 6 starts in AA or 8 starts in AA. I'll probably do like 8 starts in AAA, and then maybe I'll find myself on the big league staff. Because when you look at the player comparison, I was the number 3 pitcher and the starting rotation. So you figure once you put some games in, you get your stats up, because I think my adjusted overall was like, I think 66 or something like that. I should have been paying a little bit more attention at the beginning of the video, but I wasn't looking. So when you looked at like the staff, when the major league staff, they're in the 80s, and the aces were in like the 90s, like the high 80s or low 90s, and so that's where I want to go. I know if you pitch well, then what you're going to do is you're going to accumulate points faster, and you put those points into all the necessary attributes, and your rating will go up, and that'll help you get called up. And so that's pretty much what my expectations are for AAA, is that I'll get called up relatively quickly. Now that's not really the case, because I am very far behind in the video making from where my player is. Because now my player's in the show, and I won't tell you too much about it, but just I'm in 2015, mid-2015, and my player's in the show, and so I've gotten there, but my my road to the show was much different, and I actually liked that. I liked how the road to the show was different than what it has been for a fielder, and I started to experience some frustration with the organization, and those will come out in some more videos. I'll start to talk about it a little bit more. And some frustrations that I have with this was like, how did you dirt that like shortstop? Like, what, did your arm just break or what? I couldn't quite figure it out. But this would become sort of a constant theme. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I was bitching about my third baseman, infielders. Oh my God, the defense is just, for this team, is pretty terrible. It was a point of frustration for me as a pitcher, and that was the point of my last video, is that you can only do so much as a pitcher. Like, everything else is out of your control. Like, once you throw the ball, like, it's all randomized. Like, where the ball is going to go, whether or not a fielder is going to make an error, whether or not he's going to even make an effort to go for it. There's all these variables. They're just totally out of your control, and that's what makes it hard to play as a pitcher. But one of the things I noticed right away, as far as playing from AA to AAA, is that AAA batters, they don't let a lot of pitches go by. They swing, especially in the first inning. The first time you face these guys, they're not watching a lot of pitches. They're swinging, they're hacking, and so I would have, more often than not, a lot of first innings where I might only throw 5 pitches, or at most. Sometimes I think one inning I actually threw 3 pitches. Like, the first 3 pitches were hit, put in play at a right out of fielder, and it's like, seriously, guys, like, you can watch a pitch go by. So as I progress up, and this goes on, I mean, this is nothing new to me, but it's just, I'm gonna vocalize this for those of you guys who are, say, playing the show for the first time, especially as a starting pitcher. There are things about the AI that are just so frustrating as a pitcher, and they do not at all mirror what the tendencies, the hitter tendencies of real hitters, especially when you're looking at like leadoff guys. Very rarely do leadoff guys swing at the first pitch, unless it's like their pitch and it's right down the middle, like a fastball right down the middle. Like, they're very rarely swinging at the first pitch, and their job as a leadoff hitter is to work the count, to work a walk or get a base hit. But they really want to show your team what it is the starting pitcher is, what he's got, and what pitches are working for him, what pitches aren't working for him, and that's not the case. They all, oh my God, they're swinging at everything, and it gets frustrating. But it's one of those things. It's a part of the game, and you just sort of roll with it, and you hope that your next outing goes better than your previous outing, or if you had a pretty decent outing, then you hope that you have a repeat of that nice outing later on. And so, right here, it's nice to have my fielders pick me up. And this is something that's been nice, is that this character, he gets into a little bit of trouble, but he also is able to get out of a lot of trouble. So I might have a little bit of, like 9 hits and 7 innings pitched or whatever, but only 1 or 2 runs, because I'm able to get out of those situations, which is so nice. So anyways, that is my game. This has been my first start at the AAA level. And it was pretty decent. I was really happy with it, and so I'll show you guys more, and then probably the next following week. So we got 8 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, and I'll have to wait for me to get back here. So we had, so 9 hits, 8 strikeouts in 8 innings pitched, which is nice. 1. I shoot for 1 strikeout inning when I pitch, and then 2 earned runs. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I shall talk to you guys later.